Well, basically, like in many African countries, conditions are pretty poor. There's no basic infrastructure, roads, health service, etc. So when I was there, which was in 2006, I saw a lot of unemployment. I saw a lot of people, let's say, just hanging around Freetown. There's no real job prospects and so on. So pretty poor, really. They need all the help we can give them, really.
Certainly, one way of doing that is supporting the Regent Primary School project. Now, just how far have you got on that? Because, of course, education is important, any child in the world.
Well, basically, the way I got involved was when I visited, I went out with my work with Toyota Gibraltar. We were doing a 4x4 course, a driving course for local charities. And I came across this school, and when I came back to Gibraltar, I decided to try and help them in any way I could. I started sending some stationery items, so books, pens, etc., in cars when the cars were being shipped to these aid and charity organizations. And then about a year ago, I decided to start on a fundraising project to try and actually refurbish the school.
We'll talk about the monies, which obviously is important and has to be ongoing to be able to keep that project alive. But what stage are you at now? Because I think originally when you went, the schools were in pretty dire condition.
Yes, basically the school houses about 450 children. Already the school is pretty crammed up. There's not enough space, really. The roof was leaking badly. That was one of the primary concerns. Also, toilets, they're pretty much non-existent. We will need to build some new toilets there. Electricity, plumbing and so on also needs to be fixed. So that's how the school was at the time and still is, really. What we have managed to do is raise enough funds over the last year to be able to fix the roof, partly fix the roof, so it's no longer leaking, because what was happening was that when the rainy season was coming, which is from April to November, classrooms had to be cancelled because the classrooms were being flooded, basically. So.
And I know that generally when AKIN takes on a certain project, very committed. I mean, it's not something that you'll just do half-heartedly. I mean, you are there for the long term, aren't you?
Well, exactly, yes. Once you start on a school, you can't stop, really. Once we've managed to fix the school up, hopefully we'll look for others and move on from there. So we're in for the long term, really.
Well, let's take up on something which is important as well. I mean, how do you actually manage to keep the funds coming in and to generate funds to just continue, basically? Well,
there's a number of ways to fundraise. We try and be as novel as possible, because Gibraltar, as you know, is so much charity minded, which is fantastic. But of course, you need to try and find new ways. One of the ways we found was quite interesting was raising funds through the sale of some chocolate Santa figurines. We started doing that last Christmas, and it went really well. Over the course of the year, we did a bingo also. We've done raffles. And another way which we fundraise is through the auction of vouchers, retail vouchers. So what we do is we go around local businesses, restaurants and so on, and they give us vouchers, and we then auction them or sell them on to friends, contacts, etc. Yeah?
So expect Jimmy to come knocking at your door.
Yes,
maybe.
exactly. Well, I've been very busy trying to get as many vouchers as I can to be able to raise as much funds. But I've also tried to suggest to some companies, and certainly this Christmas it's worked, that they should perhaps consider and not send in Christmas cards. Then they can donate the money to the charity instead, which is something that certainly, for example, Beacon Press, and I'd like to thank them especially, have done this year. They donated part of the funds to AKIN Sierra Leone and also to the GBC Open Day, which was great.